Hey, welcome to the Kinda Late Show. I am your host, Terence. We have all kinds of things now. Patreon, we're doing more shorts, Instagram, like us on all the social medias. I have to get that out of the way now because I will not say it later in the episode. Haha, we are joined by my cousin Daniel once again.
Hey, I'm here, and hopefully you can hear me this time, because last time...
Oh, no, the
the
audio's all better. I've got the fancy new mics. Thank you again, Ryan. I'm going to say that, and when I play it back, there's going to be no audio. I'm going to be pissed. Fuck! And also we have Anika off screen today. We do have a camera just to prove she's here, but as you can see by the quality, you will not be seeing her again.
Get insulted.
Well, at least they know you're
Well, I
you
didn't.
exist.
We could say that you're the one doing that to the camera because you're the only one that has footage like that. So, a lot of great topics for here. We're heavily pop culture episode because we are pop culture gurus. We grew up in the '90s. We know what's popping. We know why it's good and why it's bad.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm here to tell you why your opinions are wrong.
Yeah, we're millennials. That's what we do.
Yeah. So here we are to express our opinions as facts.
Yes.
So
I'm right, you're wrong. Get over it. Wait, I can't say that. That's
So
not
now that we've gotten that out of the way, I'm not fact checking this episode, right?
most of this episode is speculation.
Honestly,
so...
no. We go over the topics. Yeah, there's a lot of opinions.
All right. So our first topic is the Marvel Cinematic Universe over? Meaning, is it kind of at a close? There's a lot of comic book fans, particularly, and let's say even cinephiles they can feel the end is nigh.
The conversation was happening as early as Infinity War, so let's you're looking.
Oh no, okay. I was legitimately thinking about this the other day, and I was like, in the wake of Endgame, absolutely nothing of like substance has come out. Like there are.
I know why.
Oh, okay.
We have now reached the point in comic book superhero movies where we are now doing storylines that were done in the last 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
We are not doing iconic storylines from the 80s and 90s anymore.
That makes sense. And that's why with Doctor Strange, like it's the last like hurrah in terms of that, because House of M was pretty much the last like
great,
truly good, like that and Avengers vs. X-Men, but you haven't established the X-Men yet to do.
How do you establish the X-Men when all you would be doing is remaking the Fox movies?
Yeah,
because the Fox movies already did the iconic storylines.
Yep.
They did 2 Phoenix movies.
Yep.
They did...
Both too bad.
They did Days of Future's Past.
They did Apocalypse.
That was okay. Apocalypse was okay.
Was bad. It had Oscar Isaac in it, and he's a friend of the show.
Yeah.
So Age of Apocalypse was actually a very stellar movie. I just really wish Pietro told Magneto that he was.
Yeah, like why they didn't just like they hinted at it. It was clearly there on the tip of your tongue, but you didn't go after
hold on. I'm mad that Michael Fassbender did not make an appearance in WandaVision in the flashbacks. No, I know. Shut up.
No, I really have not seen Doctor Strange. But it's fine. Go.
But they showed her parents, and it would have been a really good opportunity to randomly just have Fassbender.
It's like,
like you guys went through the trouble of bringing in Evan Peters.
Yeah, but they brought in Evan Peters, but it wasn't even like
5 seconds.
Yeah, it wasn't even him. It was all just for a dick joke.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But no, absolutely. I feel like the MCU is it's kind of done for. They aren't really building towards anything. Everything that they put out is...
Well, they've put out 2 big teasers for what's going to happen, or 3 now, I guess, because it's whatever. And that's just it. Is they don't know which one of those is going to be the culmination of it all, because there's the Celestials out there.
You have the Eternals movie, which went absolutely nowhere. Like, you have this just to introduce the Celestials. You have Kang because of Loki,
and now because of Doctor Strange, we have the incoming threat of Incursions, which was happened in Secret Wars, which was 2012 Marvel
Yeah,
Comics.
like 10 years
that was
ago.
also something that was hinted at in Loki as well.
So clearly,
and then we know
the incursions in the end of the universe is where it's headed.
And we know that in Ant-Man, the new Ant-Man Quantumania, that Kang is going to play a bigger role. But the fact that he is confirmed to be in that leads me to believe he's not going to be the ultimate threat.
No.
Which means that like everything that they've done since Endgame sets up for like a movie. So Loki was really just set up for Ant-Man because it introduced Kang. WandaVision was really just set up for Doctor Strange. Winter Soldier kind of set up the Thunderbolts movie, I guess, that they've now confirmed is going to happen. But
did you see Falcon and Winter Soldier?
I did. I watched the entire. I've seen everything up into Miss Marvel and Doctor Strange is the only things I have not seen. I don't really want to watch Miss Marvel.
Okay, so
Anika read the Miss.
I need to be stated for the record. I own the original run of the debut of Kamala Khan as Miss Marvel. Mm-hmm. They aren't going with that fucking story. and
they can't because Inhumans was botched.
Yeah, well, they can't because Inhumans was botched. So they've like now completely rebooted what her powers are, how she's gotten them, and it's just. I understand where the decision making happened, but it's very much like, okay, now even the fans of this comic, like, forget the negative fans, the toxic fans that weren't going to go see it to begin with, but now you're at a point where the fans that actually enjoy the character, like, they don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing reminiscent about what the character originally was.
Do not want to watch Moon Knight because I like the Moon Knight character and I hate the multiple personalities
aspect of it.
But
that's intrinsic to him, though.
Yes and no.
No. Anyone that's read Moon Knight in the last 20 years will tell you the best run was Warren Ellis's run.
Yeah.
And
they never DID much differently.
Approached it completely differently, and it never even mentioned Stephen Grant or Jake Lockley.
Yeah.
And it is perfect comic books.
Mm-hmm.
And there we are, and we get Oscar Isaac, friend of the show. I hate to. This is an ongoing joke.
Yeah, I bet.
So, I don't want to watch it because I don't want to not like it.
Yeah.
I know I won't.
Well, that's how I felt about Hawkeye when we were going in.
Hawkeye was great.
I wasn't particularly excited about Hawkeye, but Kate Bishop is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
And they did her so well.
I was not excited about Hawkeye. I enjoyed it. It's
Here's the reason I like
it's the best you could do with Hawkeye without without giving him his own Avengers.
The reason I like Hawkeye in terms of the show anyways, was because I thought Jeremy Renner was like one of the perfect castings for Hawkeye in fucking Thor. Back when Thor, and I was like, yo, the dude from SWAT is Hawkeye? No way!
Yeah, and then they just never did anything with him. Like, he was just always kind of in the background.
And then we got Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop, and I was like, no way! This is like, again, a casting just as good. Yeah. So I knew I was going to enjoy the series regardless. Cause
their chemistry is great together too, so like it worked out. The inclusion of Yelena also kind of like
elevated
it. That again was set up in Black Widow,
and that's all apparent. She might be a Thunderbolt.
Yeah, she's gonna be the Thunderbolt.
I'm very excited about that. I'm not particularly excited about the Thunderbolts movie, but I'm very excited about what they're hinting at right now. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, like the way that the Thunderbolts is gonna work, it's. Like, it's not even going to be a true Thunderbolts because it's not really going to be villains. It's just going to be more, like, anti-heroes.
Well, there's no bad guys anymore.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
And everyone gets turned into...
Mephisto!
It's because writers want to give them character development, and in doing so, you end up making them sympathetic, so you don't want them to be
there's no bad guys anymore, not characters with bad storylines. That was in regards to Mephisto. But yeah, that's one of the going back to like X-Men and that being, they're gonna have to put their chips on X-Men and Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Which do they cast John Krasinski?
They better. Like, you can't for one, he exists in a multiverse as Mr. Fantastic. we clearly know that everybody is that other person in a different multiverse. Wanda is Wanda in every single one. Doctor Strange, it's Benedict Cumberbatch in every single one.
All right, but I'm gonna break a cardinal rule of comic book fans. I'm gonna apply DC rules. We have a black Jim Gordon and a white Jim Gordon. A couple of white Jim Gordons.
DC doesn't count. I used to love DC and like.
How did you feel about the Batman?
I enjoyed the Batman. The Batman was a great detective film, exactly like Batman is supposed to be. Okay. It was the most true to Batman's detective origins as any other Batman film could have been prior to it. Like, nothing has reached that. As a whole, in terms of Batman like a superhero, it's lacking, but so did The Dark Knight. Like, he wasn't a superhero, he was just a dude in a cape, like, beating up crime. With this one, he actually puts his detective skills to use. He doesn't just yell at people and be like, "Where is she?"
I mean, that's like 80s detective skills.
But also at the same time, like, the one issue I had with the Batman was that, yeah, okay, you're gonna focus on it being a detective film. At least make him a good detective. He's a terrible detective the entire film. Like, Alfred is figuring out everything for him, and then Alfred gets injured, and it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to find him? He's what? Like, and so you're doing a good job, but you're doing a bad job simultaneously. So all in all, the film, like, it's not spectacular. I enjoyed it. Is it a little long? Yeah. Did they need to include the Joker at the end? No. Like, I feel like that was a misplay on their part, but they were going for the sequel, and
I hope the Joker's not in that sequel.
I also do. I also hope that the Joker's not in the sequel. They need to just give the Joker a rest for a while. Batman has plenty of other good villains that can test him.
A freaking laundry list. There's tons.
They've proven time and time again that you can have
it's called a
watchable
gallery
Batman movie without the Joker.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I want to see Batman taking down the Condiment King. Like, who doesn't want to see that?
I mean, if it's like how the movie starts and it's like the first 15 minutes.
No. I want Condiment King to be legit, true
the
villain.
Main villain. I want to see Batman go against Scarface and the ventriloquist.
Oh, no, that'd be so cool.
Kite Man and Condiment King together, taking down Batman. Someone is poisoned in Gotham. He can't figure out why, and it's Burger King or some other affiliate.
The Clock King. Clock King and Calendar Man. I mean, that was the best moment in Suicide Squad. Calendar Man's cameo.
That's peak 90s, like, marketing tactics.
Absolutely, yeah.
All of the commercials.
I mean, I personally think Batman and Robin is one of the better Batman movies.
I will stand to my grave that I thoroughly enjoy Batman and Robin.
I love Batman and Robin.
And you can say what you want about...
But it's fun.
You can say what you want about Jordan. Like, okay, the movie as a whole is like, yeah, it's bad. Okay, you know, on face value, it's bad. But are you enjoying yourself while you're watching it? Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Arnold Schwarzenegger delivering nothing but like the coldest puns. You have Uma Thurman just being hot.
Serious moments. Arnold Schwarzenegger's serious moments when he's diving deep into the character. Breathe.
It's some of the best acting he's legitimately done. Like, I felt bad for him and his wife.
Yeah. Schwarzenegger makes the movie work. That's why he has the top billing in the whole fucking movie.
And then, like, okay, also Clooney. Like, Clooney came in. It's the fourth movie in the series. Alfred has been in it since the beginning, but
that's the true
feel that connection, like, as if it's been him since since the OG, since Tim Burton.
And I honestly think him and Chris O'Donnell had better chemistry.
They did than Val Kilmer and Chris O'Donnell.
Much better chemistry.
I didn't like Chris O'Donnell in Batman Forever, and then Batman and Robin was like, all right, yeah, this works.
Well, and here's what I like in Batman Forever: his costume is actually closer to the Nightwing costume.
Yeah. And then here you are in number 4. Like, oh yeah, Nightwing. That's a good name. Okay. Sorry, I'm thirsty. I'm angry and I'm thirsty.
We haven't even gotten to Star Wars yet.
Have we even answered the question of whether or not the?
I have not gotten to my joke of all that's left for the X-Men to do is all the weird space stuff.
No.
And go on adventures with the Starjammers.
Oh God, no.
Yes. Yes.
No, save us from
Well,
that.
yeah, no.
So, hey man, if you want you want Kite Man and Condiment King, I want Starjammers.
To be fair,
Uncanny X-Men. That's what they got left. They have Uncanny. They have the Scott murdering Professor X and running
that's
off.
what we need in movies again. Professor X to die.
what, 3 times now? 3?
I feel like we're at 4.
Oh, what about
He died in 3.
Yeah, in 3.
He died in Logan.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he died in...
Wanda.
Yeah.
So, and then I feel like, no, he technically survives because of
What's the planet where he has like his girlfriend and his kid is?
the Shi'ar Empire.
Yeah, come on, let's take us to the Shi'ar Empire.
That's
MCU.
all the crazy.
That's all they got left.
This is how Rogue gets Captain Marvel's powers.
Yeah.
So it all makes sense. You're welcome.
Honestly, that's what they need to do. Is they need to do what
Make
Fox
make
didn't
Rogue
do
the
and
hero.
make Rogue the main character and the hero.
Yeah.
And make her badass.
What
Not shy teen Rogue.
And it's they can use that as because their main issue with Captain Marvel as of now is that she's too overpowered. You can't have a character like that without having some sort of like something that's bigger than her. Like,
Well, it was Wanda.
I mean, it was Wanda, and like, but Wanda's set back by her own like
You really like that's the reason you got to see
multiverse
Multiverse Madness is.
But-
Because it reminds you, it's like, no. We all knew the actual answer. Comic book fans knew the actual answer to who the strongest Avenger question was.
Oh yeah, it was, of course, it's always been. But because I'm thinking like you can use that as a way to depower the Carol Danvers by just like having Rogue steal her powers, or now I'm not as powerful anymore. It's like, all right,
Yep.
cool, that works. I understand that. That's simple explanation. Got it. No like.
She's just not as strong. Rogue has half her powers.
Yeah,
now.
she legit stole her powers. No, I can.
Oh man.
But okay, so to get back to the original topic, is the MCU over? Yeah, I think it is. I don't think they're gonna have to work hard to get past Phase 4.
I feel like they're already kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel in terms of the characters that they're trying to push forward. I mean, they're trying right now. It seemingly looks like they've already bringing in all of the Young Avengers characters, and they're already making them either too young or not consistent in age range to actually meaningfully give them their own team later on, which is only hardcore readers even know who the Young Avengers are.
And they're definitely trying to push on to the next generation of what would be the Avengers, because the old generation can't be around forever, and the thing is, it's not really working.
Well, and the sad reality is the Avengers has had a long roster. They should just be trying to build up the characters they haven't used yet, instead of trying to let's do next generation.
No, just rotate out. Just what you do with the Avengers, you just do a rotation. Like it's an easy fix, but Marvel doesn't want to they don't want to invest in that as a
I just think at a certain point they have reached because I've slurred over a bunch of words now.
Yeah.
When Kevin Feige originally talked about why he had the idea for the MCU, it's because he was sitting in Marvel's writer rooms, and they'd all have to sit there and talk about with all their editors, this is what's happening in our big event. These are how all the tie-ins are going on. But we've now reached a point where that's not feasible for visual media. Or for film and TV.
Yeah, they have so many things going on. It's impossible to interconnect it all, so you have to make your own separate little universes, and in doing that you're weakening the brand. So the only answer is to bring it all back together, but then you have all these characters that are unexplored. You have movies like The Eternals, which would have done better as a TV show, because now you have the time to expand, and each episode is its own Eternal. You can get that emotional bond, so when they actually do end up dying, it means something, and not just I saw this dude for 5 minutes and he did a thing and now he's dead. Oh, okay, well, what's next? And so they're gonna have to push hard for Phase 4. I know they're holding Fantastic Four in their pocket, and that's their ace in the hole, but it just feels like it's not going to be enough. If they're going to make it to Phase 5, they have to have something big, or at least be building up to something big. Because
they already made the Skrulls good guys, and that's one of the biggest enemies of the Fantastic Four.
Literally, the only thing that you haven't Mephisto is one thing that has not been touched. kind of, if you include the evil version of Doctor Strange, is like a workaround towards Mephisto. But you have Galactus, you have the Eternals coming, or the Celestials coming back as like a villain, and then you have like there's only a handful of other things that are truly like available to be world-ending things. You can always bring in the Phoenix Force with the X-Men, but again, who wants to rehash that again? I trust Marvel more to do it, but
you just don't want to watch that.
I just don't want to. I don't want to see her like just.
Well, and that's why I think they're going with the doing the animated series to give them a little bit of time, just to give movies a bit of time away from the X-Men.
And I mean, they even if they go with the way that the Phoenix Force worked in Avengers versus X-Men, I feel like I would be more open to that than just it straight being Jean Grey again. Like,
where like everyone's getting the Phoenix
Force. Everyone's getting the Phoenix Force, and like it's just out of control. And so now you got to find a way to control it. And in doing that, you're making one all-powerful being. And so that I feel like would work a little bit better if you want to do an X-Men movie that has that where you can incorporate it, but like they're running out of world-ending threats, and it was bound to happen. Like the fatigue is eventually going to kick in, it's starting to already. Like I was one who used to go see every movie at midnight, and I still have not seen Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. Like I
still have not seen Ant-Man or Captain Marvel
or Eternals,
and those were phase 2, phase 3 movies.
Well, they're skippable.
Yeah, exactly. It's like these aren't gonna, and even because Captain Marvel was just like Ant-Man. It was like, you're not releasing this at the right time.
Yeah, Ant-Man's good. Like it's a good like one-off.
But I was fundamentally against it because
they got rid of
because it came out after Age of Ultron.
Oh.
So I was like, I'm never going to like this movie. It's never going to be what I wanted an Ant-Man movie to be, and it never will be what an Ant-Man movie could have been.
This is a Scott Lang movie.
And we got 5 seconds of what an Ant-Man movie could have been in Ant-Man and the Wasp when Hank Pym is in the Quantumverse or the Quantum Realm and he's tripping out, and it's like, we could have had 2 hours of this.
Yeah. The What If episode with Ant-Man was so good. Have you seen it?
No.
We haven't watched any of the What If yet.
You gotta watch it.
We didn't have a Plus at the time.
You're out of loop for Multiverse of Madness. You're missing some characters.
It made sense without the background knowledge.
No. And I mean, that's probably one of the better episodes. It's kind of like a thriller horror-esque. Do you want me to spoil it for you?
No, not here. You guys, we gotta move on because we still have so many other things that we got plenty of topics. So,
in a nutshell,
MCU's
got a couple of years and that's it.
Yeah.
It's like you got to do something, guys.
DC's already dead, so we don't need to talk about it.
Oh my goodness, I feel so bad for them. That's just a nightmare.
I am very excited for Black Adam.
I'm very excited for
amazing,
Black Adam.
and that's probably the only thing that I have looking forward to.
I think that's very shocking because anytime I see a commercial for a movie with The Rock, I don't think that movie generally looks very good.
Well, I mean, they're all the same because he's usually in a jungle. This time he's in a desert.
He's in a desert. Let's get back to the Scorpion
he's
King
in Kahndaq,
right?
And okay, come on, like they're including the JSA, like.
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
I love the JSA, and I can't prove that he's in there, but I think the OG Green Lantern's in it, based off of what I saw in the trailer. There's a little green light, and it doesn't necessarily look like Dr. Fate's power. I think it might be Alan Grant. Not Alan Grant. Alan. Wow, I forgot his name. It's Alan something. Alan Grant is a paleontologist.
See,
have you watched Jurassic Park?
I have not seen that either.
No, we haven't.
I haven't watched it either.
I haven't even finished Fallen Kingdom.
I didn't want to watch Fallen Kingdom because I was offended by the idea that any of them would survive a volcanic blast like that.
Alan
Scott. There you go.
That's not a real name.
No, that's 2 first names.
We'll do a little quick mini segment. Okay, so you remember the comedic bit from the Mighty Boosh, Old Greg?
Old Greg. Yep.
Did you know that one of the comedians, the one that portrayed old Greg, Noel Feldman, he's now currently the host of Great British Bake Off.
No way.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm so glad you didn't know this.
I'm so glad you didn't know this, because we're like, no, this is something we just need to tell him on the show.
No, that's great.
Yeah,
that makes me want to watch the Great British Bake Off.
It is so worth it.
There are plenty of reasons to watch the Great British Bake Off, but that's a better one.
Yeah. It was
I mean, he's not. They've been through a few hosts, but he's
and at first I was like, "What? He's the comedian." And then like we found out after we started, and then we're like,
"Well, that's old Greg.
That's old Greg." So now he's like at first he was like the secondary host, and now like because the other host left, now he's the primary. So it's like, this is how do we get here?
This is where he belongs. Someone get him Bailey's in a shoe.
Has he ever like just randomly said that in an episode?
I have not seen anyone use Bailey's and him make the joke on the show. Although I would I really
I need to become a better baker.
British people, I need one of you auditioning for the show to do something with Bailey's in it.
Might I suggest a cake shaped like a shoe, and you just put Bailey's in it. So he has to drink Bailey's from a shoe.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
All right, so
I know what I'm making myself for my birthday now.
okay, so to get to Star Wars, on the day of this recording, it is the Wednesday that Obi-Wan Kenobi has had its season finale. We wanted to talk about the show midways through, but we decided it might be better to talk about it at the end. And there was also scheduling conflicts, so it just kind of worked out. So now we can talk about the series in retrospect.
I enjoyed it. I don't know. The internet can say whatever they want. I enjoyed it.
There are aspects about it that are enjoyable.
There's definitely things that could be critiqued. I was even sitting there watching the last shot, and I'm like, this is a little hard to watch solely for.
I didn't think
for cinematography
the final battle
reasons,
between the final battle between
I'm like, but that's a
Obi-Wan and Vader was very. I was like, this should be cool, but this cinematography is just.
Well, and there's the other scene that's going on simultaneously, and you can't discern anything that's going on the screen. It's too dark. It was I don't know. That was me, but like.
All right, that's our cinematography gripes. What are your story gripes?
Yeah, see, you notice as you guys are talking about this, I'm remaining quiet. I have opinions. Okay, so
please share them.
As a general like critique, it falls into the Disney like era of just giving us stuff we didn't need. Some of it,
I completely agree with that.
Like, we didn't need to see this. A lot of people are complaining, oh, there's not enough Luke. Like,
Luke got 3 movies.
Yes, Luke got
4.
3 movies. Fine.
I guess Last Jedi, yeah.
He got 4 movies.
No, he got, Last Jedi, and then,
and a holiday special.
Yeah. Oh, God. So...
I'm so sorry.
I wanted to say, like, we don't talk about that, but no, we don't. We need to talk about this more.
No, the author was in it. You all need to see it.
If you can get your hands on a pirated copy, watch it.
I'm pretty sure it's available
and then
on
burn
Disney
it
Plus.
because nobody else should have to watch it.
Right.
But
Obi-Wan.
yeah, okay. So with Obi-Wan, it falls into that like of everything. Like, it's not stuff we needed. It's stuff that like they just wanted to give us, and that's fine. I don't care that Luke wasn't in it. His whole thing was that he was a farm boy aching for adventure. If they were to give him adventure in this show, it would not make sense. On top of the other things that they've added in the show that also just don't make sense. There were parts that were included that I looked at. I'm like, you were clever with the way you worked that around, because luckily you don't have to like mention it later, or it's not something that has a conflict later on down the line in the already pre-established stuff. Like at the end, I can talk about spoilers, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Full spoilers. Sorry.
So at the end, when he's saying goodbye to Leia, she's like, "Oh, will I ever see you again?" In that moment, I saw it. I'm like, "Wait, they never do see each other again." He sees the hologram, but he dies before they can actually have they can reunite.
I mean, in theory, she sees him
battling Vader when they're running by,
which should be a huge moment. Like, it does really kind of, because she's not even sad after he dies.
Yeah, at this point she's more just kind of like, I'm trying to get the fuck out of here. Right. But that does kind of cause an issue, but it would be more of an issue as if they like came face to face, had an introduction, and she's just like, who the hell are you? Like, I don't know who you are. And they had this whole adventure together. So it made sense for her to be the one on the adventure with Obi-Wan rather than Luke, because Luke would have had to forget everything.
Yeah. They would have Jedi mind wiped him at the end.
Yeah, exactly. I've never liked
Mewtwo.
I've never truly liked the Inquisitors.
I always thought it was... I'd never liked that aspect of Star Wars.
Yeah, like, that's... Like, the Inquisitors are part of a Star Wars problem that was created when the expanded universe created the rule of two. And is that you can't really have villains for Jedi that aren't just, like...
You can't have, like,
dark
Lieutenant
Jedi
bosses.
Yeah, you, like... It's like, if in order to have like a good fight against a Jedi, they either have to be like a robot or somehow impenetrable to like lightsabers, or they're just another Jedi, but you like an evil Jedi. But you can't do that.
Or you can just make the Kyle Katarn story in movies.
Yes, please. It's sitting there. It's annoying.
Greatest Jedi of all time.
Abandon the numbers. Just make all the side stories.
Just make Dark Force. Just give us Dark Force.
No, I just want Revan already. Give me Revan. Revan's coming. I want Revan. But like I'm glad they didn't include the fucking helicopter. Like the helicopter lightsaber thing, like feature that is like the Inquisitor's main thing with their rotating lightsabers. Like,
I mean, they kind of did.
They kind of did, but like. They didn't fly away. It rotated. That's fine. Like, I get it, but like they weren't flying off. Like, oh, I'll see you next week.
See, and that's just it. I as much as I tried to like Clone Wars, and I just never got into Rebels because at a certain point I stopped watching Clone Wars because I was like, this is too episodic, silly for how I view Star Wars. And I understand that's how, the birthplace of Star Wars is there in Saturday morning serials, but at the end of the day I was like, well, this is like,
like if they would have just
I also grew up, so
like the one thing with the Clone Wars is that later on, like the early seasons were very just like very single episodes. Like, it wasn't leading to an overall story, where the later seasons had like a general theme for the entire season. Yeah. So that made it more enjoyable because like, all right, now this is what I'm invested in. It's not just like little vignettes of what's happening during the Clone Wars. Here's Yoda with some clones. Here's Plo Koon with some clones. Like, no, this is the overall story that we're getting to. So that fixes itself later in Clone Wars, but I still have not really gotten into Rebels. I've seen bits and pieces here, but I just don't like the Inquisitors. I thought they were stupid. Also, my big gripe, everyone seems to be getting stabbed in the stomach with lightsabers. Do people not know what lightsabers do? Like, they're surviving?
That's how I feel when I see blood in Star Wars.
Han got stabbed with a lightsaber. He died. He's supposed to die. That's what happens when you get stabbed with the lightsaber. Qui-Gon, stabbed with the lightsaber. He died. Also...
Hold on. Darth Maul got sliced in half. He lived.
Yeah.
We're looking at you, Filoni.
You get stabbed with a lightsaber, you're supposed to die. Why all of a sudden?
It's a temporary wound.
With Darth Maul, maybe you can like twist it because he's like so evil in the Force that he did the same trick that Vader did to like heal his wounds with his anger. Like, that's fine.
At last we will have our revenge.
But like, everyone is just like okay, when the High Inquisitor or the Grand Inquisitor got stabbed, I was like, all right, fine. He's Utapawan. He has two stomachs anyway.
People were freaking out. This destroys the whole universe.
And I'm like, no, he appears in Rebels anyway, so we know he survives. Like, and that, I'll get into that right now. But like, I could buy that like, okay, he's Utapawan. He has two stomachs. He killed one. Okay, the other one works fine. He lives. But homegirl, third sister, what's her name? Reva?
Reva.
Reva, she gets stabbed.
Which was also the name of Luke Cage's wife in Luke Cage.
Because
So
writers
I just want
aren't
to point out
particularly
how lazy
creative.
writers are.
You know, I will say that Reva is one letter off from Revan.
See, they made Revan into a black woman too.
So, like, she gets stabbed in the stomach, and then, it just instantly, somehow, faster than Obi-Wan, gets to Tatooine.
Okay, no, legit happened, and that was the first words out of my mouth. I'm like, oh, she got there fast.
Yeah, and so when I saw the fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin, I'm like, or Vader, whatever.
Anakin's dead.
Yeah, Anakin's dead apparently. Yeah, okay, Anakin is dead. I killed him.
See, so now Obi-Wan's not a liar.
Yeah. And then when I saw that, I'm like, oh yeah, we got around that one, right? So when I first saw that and he's leaving, I'm like, you know, someone has to save Luke. Who's gonna save Luke? Luke's just gonna die.
Anika was totally like, oh, dude, Bail Organa's gonna show up. He said in the message.
I thought that too.
And
then
he never fucking showed up.
Yeah.
Nowhere. No.
And I was like, who could save him? And I was like,
he had days ahead of him.
I was legit thinking like, oh, who could save him? And then like, I was like, well, maybe like she got to Tatooine really fast. Maybe this whole thing with Obi-Wan and Vader happened like earlier on, and it's just gonna cut to like Obi-Wan being like, no, I'd beat Vader like 3 days ago.
Right, I knew you would come.
I knew you'd come. Blah, blah, blah. And so that would have been cool too. But like, no, she's like, he gets there. I guess when you're traveling at the speed of light, like you get there pretty quickly. But even then, like traveling from Tatooine to Alderaan was like what, a 3-hour journey.
Look, Disney doesn't care about how light speed works.
They really don't. Disney doesn't care about a lot of
things. I don't think movie studios
things.
do in general. We were just watching Fast 9 the other day. And they
Yeah,
legit made a joke about physics. And I was like,
the numbers don't lie.
No.
I made the mistake of watching Fast 5 before I watched Fast 9.
Oh, no.
And I didn't watch any of the ones. I saw Fast 6, but I never saw 7 and 8.
Mm.
So I watched Fast 5. Great heist movie. One of the best action movies of all time. And then I watched Fast 9.
There's a huge jump.
There was a huge jump. All of a sudden, they're fucking spies. And they're not even working for anyone. They're just spies for themselves.
Spies for the sake of being spies. You have to, like, for the Fast and Furious... Imagine going, okay, so like you go from Fast 5 to Fast 9. Okay, that's like, it's a big jump. Imagine going from the original Fast and Furious to Fast 9. Just straight up, oh yeah, we're just dudes racing cars to I'm in space. There is no consistency in that, like, but strangely enough, if you are watching it movie after movie, like in the order that it's supposed to,
It somehow makes sense.
builds the way it's supposed to. Like
Talk about progression.
Yeah, it shouldn't work, but it does. But if you go from one movie earlier on to another movie later on, like
And then, like, fuck you if the one you just watched was Tokyo Drift.
yeah, like who are these people? I don't. That's the dude at the end, right?
They're future rocket scientists is what they are.
This guy's just a guy.
Apparently, they're like current rocket scientists. I just want to know what was the actual time jump between Han dying and
him not dying.
yeah.
We should know anymore.
So while we're in the realm of all of this, I want to talk about something which I think is irrational protagonist.
Oh no,
Because I've realized that heroes in movies don't make good choices.
they don't.
Particularly Dominic Toretto in the Fast and the Furious movies. I dare you to watch any of them and tell me he makes one good choice.
One reasonable choice.
One reasonable, thought out choice. Never happens.
When he stomped the yard, literally. And I believe it was Fast 8. Fast 7? I don't know. The one where he topples a whole...
the street wins. That's one thing about a street fight. The street always wins. I haven't seen them, but I know what happened.
No, But okay, if it wasn't for protagonists making terrible choices, you wouldn't have like a film. Like you truly wouldn't have like you can even go back to like Star Wars is probably like,
I was going to say
the original Star Wars, like with Luke, is like one of the more like textbook hero's journey. Like,
but Han Solo makes a lot of unreasonable calls.
well, that's because that's his thing. He's fast and loose with the rules, like Dom Toretto.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
Clearly, that's what
He lives his life a parsec at a time.
So that's what we're missing from Fast 10. Harrison Ford. They went to space, so why not bring in Harrison Ford? Go hog.
Have you heard what Vin Diesel wanted to do with Fast 10?
I just want them to
Transformers. I want Transformers to cross over. I want Bumblebee to go find Dominic Toretto.
I want Tyrese to work with Tyrese. I want Tyrese from Fast and the Furious to have to work with Tyrese from Transformers.
That would be great, but he wanted them to go up against Godzilla.
I love this idea. I love this idea.
To somehow enter into the legendary universe.
You know,
take down
so
Godzilla.
crazy.
Godzilla can't be taken. It's contractually obligated by Toho that Godzilla cannot die.
Not when you have family.
So by the end of it, Godzilla's
by the end of it, it's son of Godzilla. By the end of it, Minilla comes out and they're fighting a new monster.
Exactly. Like they're about to kill Godzilla and then the egg hatches and he just powers up. It's like, I have family now.
And then they're like, Godzilla has family now. Now he's one of us.
Someone get him a Corona.
Oh man.
I like how we've actually reached the point where everyone's like, you know what? Let the Fast and the Furious movies just go wild, man. Just
let him do whatever. Let him do whatever. I want a
like as stupid
kaiju crossover. Yeah. I want Transformers. Throw it all in there.
As stupid as their ideas are for the films, like they're enjoyable.
That's how you save the MCU.
Fast and Furious.
No lie. That would work.
Right? They're the new Shield.
Yeah, that would work.
They don't have Phil Coulson. They have Dominic Toretto.
Nick Fury's just out there in space, like trying to find him.
And it's because now they know that families in space.
They're the new Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's how you end it. That's how you end Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Groot becomes his final form, and it's just Vin Diesel. It already works. You don't have to cast anybody
and he doesn't say I am Groot. He just says family.
Which has already been established. It's the first Guardians of the Galaxy. And he said, we are Groot. But, okay, so I'm going to try and keep us on topic here.
No, we're off the road.
It's
impossible.
But you can't have like an entertaining and like relatable movie if you don't have your protagonist making terrible choices. Like I can't even think what Luke has terrible choices. They're all over the place. For one, he went after Obi-Wan, but if he hadn't have done that,
Obi-Wan
they
told
would have
him
gone
to
captured.
Stay there,
Obi-Wan
and then he was like, "Let's go save the princess."
Okay, well, I think his unreasonable call was shouting.
Oh, what?
No!
Oh, well, shoot them. Who are they? Shoot at them. Yeah, let's go with that. It's a reasonable move.
Should he have gone looking for, like, was it a good idea for him to go looking for R2-D2 in the middle, or it wasn't in the middle of the night, like first thing in the morning? Probably not. Probably wasn't a good idea. Did it work out for him? Yeah. Okay, so
Luke did also establish he shot the door before Han did.
Which
the trash compactor.
The trash compactor, yeah. Han just doesn't listen. Like I said, he plays fast and loose with the rules. But that's okay because that's the character he is. That like his whole thing is he's the scoundrel. He doesn't listen to what everybody says. That's why he leaves when everyone's about to go into battle. He's like, fuck it, whatever, I'll show up anyway.
And that's why he just shows up.
Yeah, he just shows up, saves the day. He's like, oh well, yeah, I'm the hero. You guys are all stupid. You all dying. Show up at the last minute like I did. But okay, so quick little thing. We were talking about this before we started airing. I wanted to get back to it it's about Kenobi and about how Beru is a badass. More so than Owen, But because they
I
showed
felt like that whole sequence had like low stakes because we know they survived.
Yeah, okay,
but that's why I couldn't figure out whether or not
that's another thing, like
whether or not it gave it more weight or less weight, or what that changes for 4. Did they fight back? Did they not fight back? You got all like.
Okay, so here's the thing. Two things. I'll tackle the brew, and then I want to quickly go on over something else. But the whole thing with Brew is that they would have fought back, but if you look at the way that they died, it's clear that the stormtroopers didn't even give them a chance. They just threw in a bomb and just fuck it. If we destroy we either destroy the robots or we kill the people there, and it doesn't matter.
No,
like they legit just threw in a thermal detonator and were like, "Fuck it!" Like that's it.
Yeah, and you can see like
because they're running, they're trying to escape from the fire that was set. So there clearly was not a firefight; they were just blown up. So Brew didn't have time to be a badass. You know, she's making blue milk in the morning. She's taking names at night,
and then just clink.
Yeah, that's the prequel I need to see, is Brew just being a badass. But
I was so happy to see both of them return, and like Joel Egerton only got better with age.
Yeah. I liked they
were perfect. I
liked that the aging makeup that they put on them definitely like encapsulated who they eventually become, especially with Beru. Like I looked, I'm like, damn, you look like Aunt Beru.
Well, and even like when they were first cast and you end up in episode 2, you're like, yeah, that does look like young them.
Looks like a young them. But this stems. It's a whole issue like. Obi-Wan, Han Solo, like even into the Marvel verse, like you have Black Widow, you have all these things that are prequels,
which makes them low stakes.
And they're low stakes, because these are characters like you're giving backstories to characters that we already know their future and their like final outcome. So
in Black Widow, it pissed me off because she took a lot of stuff that would just
like if Black Widow had legit come out before Endgame, I might have been like a little more, but even then, like this is clearly before Infinity War, so had it come out before Infinity War, absolutely high stakes all the way around. Like, is she gonna make it to the next movie? With Black Widow, I'm watching. I'm like, at the first time she comes out against Taskmaster. I think we talked about this last episode too. Last time, but like
you realize halfway through, it's like
wait, she survives this to die somewhere else. And that's exactly how I felt with Obi-Wan. It's how I felt with Han, like with Solo. Rogue One was like the only one that I didn't feel that about because these are general characters that I just don't care about. But I have a feeling that's how it's going to be in the Andor like series. Like again, it's low stakes because these are characters who have an established ending point. So no matter what happens to them, like there's no true weight to it because like, oh yeah, they can get injured, but you know they're not going to die. So rehashing all these old stories, while great to see, like it's not necessary. Like it's not something that I want to see because it's going to give me some sort of enjoyment out of, oh, they made it out alive. It's like, no, I know they made it out alive. Like you're just telling me more backstory, kind of like episode 1.
Qui-Gon didn't make it out alive.
No, he didn't, but everybody else did, and that's all that matters. I will take every opportunity I can to reiterate that episode 1 is not in any which way relevant or it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable.
Love Star Wars episode 1.
I will fight tooth and nail that it's not necessary to watch in the grand scheme of things. It is.
We needed to understand that Obi-Wan was the first Jedi to kill a Sith Lord in over thousands of years.
Yes, because that's relevant. How?
Because he's a badass.
Later on down the line, how is that relevant?
Because to establish he's a badass.
Okay, because then it's like what? It's another how many years until another Sith Lord gets killed?
Okay, no. It needs to establish that how Anakin came to be with the Jedi, and how Obi-Wan came to be his master.
How Anakin came to be with the Jedi isn't relevant to the downfall of Anakin Skywalker.
It is.
No, it's not.
It very much
What is relevant to the downfall of Anakin Skywalker is his emotional connection to the people he loves. So his emotional connection to his mother, which is touched in it, but if you look at episode 1, all that like even hints at it is the fact that he's taken from her.
Okay, but
which again is reiterated in episode 2.
We still need to also understand that Yoda's sitting there saying that a 9-year-old kid is too old to learn the trainings of a Jedi.
But
he is too old for religious brainwash.
Oh yeah.
So that's what's happening to him in the next two movies. Is he has to fight. Knows what emotions and love is, and he has to fight religious brainwash that he's had to endure for 10 years.
But my argument with this is that Yoda says that in episode 2 again. Like there's nothing that isn't said that's said in episode 1 that isn't reiterated later on down the line. Like Yoda says in episode 2, like I told you he was too old. Like,
I mean, well, we can. This is a circular argument. The point is, the Rise of Skywalker is much worse than the Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Much less necessary.
Absolutely, like episode like 7, 8, 9. The more I thought about it, I was like, okay, I can explain the reasoning for 4, 5, 6. It's it has a concrete like theme and what it's trying to accomplish. 1, 2, and 3, I can also excuse. As much as I feel like 1 should be not included.
It could be a different movie.
It could, like, it's 1 doesn't necessarily need to be an episode. It can be like a backstory. It's just as important to the story as like Solo is. It gives you backstory as to how certain characters met, but in the grand scheme of things, it's nothing more than a couple like one-off sentences that are being explained. Like, yeah, but the whole saga or the whole trilogy as a whole shows a purpose because it's the rise and fall of Anakin Skywalker. The original is Luke Skywalker redeeming his father and taking down the Empire. 7, 8, and 9,
I don't know what those are.
has no cohesion. Like there is no
money.
It's the story. It's the story of Rey, and that's fine. But why the story of Rey? Like what's the purpose? Like if you want
money.
Well, okay, obviously yes, but like from a storytelling standpoint, like if you wanted to have it be, oh, it's the next generation of Jedi, well then make more Jedi. Like why just one? Like hammer down the point that Finn is also force sensitive, that Poe is force sensitive. Got you, Oscar Isaac.
Right. I could have been Poe.
Yeah, I know. I heard.
I see the clip.
Yeah. I see it.
So,
next time we're Spanish.
yes, which I sell yourself. To do yes, but again, I still blame JJ for all of that. I don't even blame Jade. I can't blame Ryan Johnson for anything. I
don't blame Ryan Johnson. I don't even blame JJ. I blame Kathleen Kennedy.
You blame one of the greatest movie producers in the history of cinema?
Yeah, I do.
With the laundry list of a bunch of other films that she's produced.
Like the laundry list of all your other favorite movies?
Yeah, I do. Because
I'll totally give you a.
Because here's the thing.
What was the
I think I've got a match.
That one was
the scene from Goonies that was randomly inserted into the Rise of Skywalker.
Star Wars movie. Here's
the thing. As great of a like history she has in producing great films, she's also done it on the back of great directors. And when you have one of them,
is J.J. Abrams a great director?
He's a good director. I wouldn't say he's a great director, but he's a good director.
He has one good movie, and I guarantee we don't agree on it.
Cloverfield.
Super 8.
Super 8's also good.
He did not direct Cloverfield.
Oh, he did. Oh, yeah, he produced
Matt
it.
Reeves directed.
Matt Reeves did. You're right. No, you're right. You're true. You're right. Matt Reeves is a great director.
Yeah.
No, okay, so the thing is, when you have power, like a power shift between the director and the producer that skews one way or the other, you're gonna get a bad film. I.e., why the prequels were so bad. Not necessarily bad, but
not what people were expecting.
Yeah,
because this was 100% unfiltered George Lucas.
This is George Lucas getting to do whatever he wants. Where, yes, you get that in Star Wars, but he was a nobody. He was trying to make the best film he could with what he had. 5 and 6, you had different directors coming in. They're telling Lucas, like, this is our vision of it. And he's like, all right, fine, that fits. Like, his role was to say yes. Where with the prequels, it was other people's roles to tell him no. But because it's George Lucas, they're not going to. Yeah. They're just going to say, oh, yeah, yes, Mr. Lucas, right away. This is the one you want? Yes, Mr. Lucas, right away. And that's where you get bad films. Is Kathleen Kennedy the producer for the Jurassic World ones?
I'll find out for you.
I wouldn't be surprised.
They're an ex Spielberg thing, so
yeah,
it would fit.
It would make sense. I'm sure she was probably a producer on.
And so that's what I felt like what happened with the prequels is that she has this idea of where Star Wars needs to be, where it should go, and the directors just aren't telling her no. The only one who kind of did, but in a way he also just kind of went with her, was Rian Johnson. And we have...
I'm on her. I'm gonna have to go down a little bit further. No, she's not responsible for any of the current Jurassic Park ones.
Okay, good. That means I
don't know. Maybe they might be better if she was.
Honestly, I'm like she was a producer on the original trilogy, so honestly,
on the original trilogy.
Actually, you know what? I can't confirm it's the trilogy. Yeah, no, it was 1, 2, and 3 for Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
she hasn't touched Jurassic World.
Yeah, because she didn't direct, or Spielberg directed 1 and 2, but he didn't direct 3, and you could argue that's why 3 had failing quality. Like it's when you have a good producer and a okay director, like if they're not on the same power level, I can't even explain like what it is, but like if they're not coming at it the same way, trying to make the best movie possible, like there's just a dynamic shift. Like it just doesn't come out well. Because you're going to get someone who's trying to overproduce a movie, or you get someone like, if you have a producer who's like, oh yeah, just do what you want. You have the director who's kind of making it too artsy, not necessarily artsy, but it's too like, it's not enjoyable enough as a film as a whole. It's trying to convey a message rather than tell a story. And
which boils down to a simple problem that I have with each of them. Mostly The Force Awakens, which is The Force Awakens was made as a setup movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not as a one-off story.
No, it was made to set up for...
Which every Star Wars movie should just be a one-off story.
But okay...
Or it should seem like a one-off story that follows, because it should be a self-contained story. I guess that's the better way to put it.
But I mean, you look at the other trilogy, like... Episode 4 was designed that way because it needed to be. There was no say that it was going to be... there was going to be another film. 4 or 5 does set up for 6 a little bit, but you're right, it is a little bit more autonomous. Where you have the prequel trilogies, those ones are completely set up, with the exception of episode 1. They set up the next episode, but in the sense that it's all leading to a final destination point. And I feel like that's what happened with the sequels, that they didn't have that final destination point in stone.
Oh yeah, no, they never knew it was.
Like they didn't know what they were going towards. They might have had like hints of like, oh, she really is a Palpatine. And I'm like, okay, fine. Well, what does that mean?
But clearly, JJ didn't actually ever really know.
Yeah,
because
he says he might because his box.
But we never got there in Rise of Skywalker, so
we just got more lost episodes.
And he could have told Rian Johnson, no, don't kill Snoke.
Yeah.
There was meetings where they all could have said, no, don't kill him.
Yeah. I feel like Snoke was probably was hands down supposed to be something significantly bigger than he ended up being. Even if it wasn't just like a clone of Palpatine, it's just he had that aura around him of being something greater, especially when you're played by when you're played by Andy Serkis. Like
I just always thought this was. Even in like
it felt like
everything that happened in Force Awakens felt stupid and forced to me. Yeah. So I never thought Snoke was gonna be cool. There was never a world where I thought this is the new bad guy.
I thought like I didn't necessarily think that he was cool. Like I didn't think he was on the level of like the Emperor, but I felt like he had ulterior motives that weren't going to be explored.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason he's here and why he wasn't there before. And so why?
I thought it would have been cool if that like delved into like ancient Sith type stuff.
And they kind of did, but like in a shitty way.
Yeah. On that note, Mortal Kombat, stop with time travel. This has been the Kind of Late Show. We'll come to you again with another episode soon next week, hopefully.
Enjoy the rest of Pride.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Twitter. And,
I was going to say, you're not on the Twitters?
We're on the Twitters. Okay. It's not a very active Twitter, but Twitter is very active.
That's true.
Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night.
Or a good morning, whenever you're watching this.
It's kind of late.
All right.